My wife and I are both 42 and in marriage counseling after our marriage basically went to crap after having kids, 6 and 4-year-old twins. A lot of issues and disagreements have come up in our marriage that have driven us apart, and I have been working through my resentment that going back for one more baby resulted in twins, including one which we are pretty sure has ADHD and ODD and is a nightmare child. Our counselor asked me if I would have children if I had to do it all over again, and I said honestly, no. I love my kids and would take a bullet for them, but if I had the chance to go back to 24 when I finished grad school and could do my life over again, I wouldn't choose fatherhood. It is not the fulfilling experience everyone claims, and while I love my children, the sacrifices are not worth it to me. I had a much happier life before having children and have gone from someone who loved life to someone who just makes it through the day, working a job he hates to provide for the wife and kids while silently wishing this wasn't my life. My wife is furious and taking it the wrong way, and even told our 6-year-old daddy wishes you were never born, which makes me livid. You don't tell the kid that. Yes, I wish I never had kids, but I do love them, would never hurt them or want to upset them. And I didn't say it to slash in front of my kids, and I never ever will. I said it in marriage counseling, what should be a safe space to talk about feelings. It has become a huge fight, our marriage is not going to be saved now, and I know she will try and use this against me in divorce court to try and get sole custody and take everything and lie to the kids who I do love and still want to be a dad to them. She is incapable of understanding that you can love your kids but also feel that parenthood was the best choice for you. Am I the idiot for saying it though? Edit. Okay, this blew the hell up and there is no way I can reply to everyone's questions. But to address a couple, I have 3 kids, not 4. One child is 6, 2 are 4. English is not my first language and I forgot the comma, and even so that sentence would have been much clearer in my native language. When I say I resent having twins, I am not saying it is my wife's fault. But 3 children is more than we budgeted / bargained for, and I need to pick up a lot overtime that I would not have had to pick up if we just had 2 kids, and that is what I resent, that and the child with ADHD, ODD. My life is basically work and dealing with my kids, and do you know what ODD is? This child always refuses to do what is asked, gets angry and throws a tantrum when asked to do something he doesn't want to do, hits and kicks others, deliberately annoys and hurts others, is extremely spiteful, screams and kicks me constantly. Always. All day. Every day. It's exhausting and it is hell. Yeah. I would have him again. Most people wouldn't if they had to raise him. Just because I wouldn't do this over again doesn't mean I'm not committed to being a good dad and being present in their lives. I just would not do it over again if I could redo my adult life. My first kid was not born at 24, I just said that because if I could do my whole post-university life differently, I would change some other things too, mainly career, and to be honest, after all this, I regret marrying my wife, which is why I said it that way. Regarding calling the ADHD, ODD twin a nightmare, go Google what that means. It is very difficult to manage, and he has even been kicked out of 3 daycare places because they could not handle him, and my parents even refused to babysit him. We never get a break from home and no one can handle time. I love my 2 daughters so much, but if I could do it all over again, I wouldn't be a mom. It is still a big taboo to admit that having children isn't the most amazing thing in the world, but for a lot of us, the lows far outweigh the highs. I'd never ever tell my kids I feel this way, but I think this is something you should be able to be honest about with your partner in marriage counseling, and the fact she told your child this is disgusting. Not the idiot. I'm in the same boat. Having my son ruined my life. My husband left me when she was a baby because he hated it, and I was left a single mom. He dodges child support, and my career is ruined because I have little support and had go on to the mommy track. I don't get to do a thing for myself outside the house, and my son has autism and is just a handful and a really difficult kid. I love him, but honestly, I'd command plus Z my son if I could. Not the idiot for feeling it or saying it, because like you say, you said it in marriage counseling, not to you kids. You would have been the idiot if you said it to the kids or where they could have heard you, but you didn't. This is so sad. I'm so sorry. You're not the idiot at all. A lot of parents feel exactly this way. You love your kids but you regret having them. That's pretty normal, and so is the guilt associated with that feeling. You're doing the right thing by going to marriage counseling, and I suggest going to individual counseling as well. Your wife should not have ever said that to your child. I doubt they'll ever forget hearing that. I, 28, have a niece, 16. She is my only sister's only child. 2 years ago I married a very wealthy man, 34, and because of the pandemic, last Christmas was my first with my in-laws. My MIL gifted me a coat that is worth more than $20,000. I saw her wearing it, asked her where she bought it, and she said that it will be my Christmas gift from her. I didn't know how much it was, I knew it was expensive, but I thought maybe $3,000 at most. I was visiting my sister last January when my niece saw it. She Googled the brand and showed me how much it really was. I won't lie, I didn't wear it after that because I was afraid of ruining it. Last week, I wore it while visiting my sister. While I was putting it back on to leave, I felt something go splat on my back, then my niece started cackling and the smell of paint hit me. I was so pissed off while she was not apologetic at all. Her mom screamed at her and said she was grounded. Then she said she will pay for the dry cleaning. While I was in my car, still in shock by the way, I got an alert that my niece posted a reel. It was of her doing a prank on me, and she said I'm going to hit my aunt's $20,000 coat with a paint-filled balloon to see how she reacts. I saved it on my phone, sent it to her mom and told her that a week's grounding is not enough. She did not reply, but I saw that my niece took it down. It got less than 5 views by then. The next day I found out my coat cannot be saved, so I called my sister and told her that her daughter has to pay it back. Well, we got into an argument and she said that they will not be paying it, and if I wanted a new one, I should get my husband to buy it for me. I think that they should pay for it, they can afford to. They should sell my niece's car and pay me back my money. We did not reach an agreement, so I told her that I will be suing, and reminded her that I have video evidence that her daughter A, did it on purpose for online clout and B, knew exactly how expensive it was. People in my life are not objective at all. I have some calling me an idiot, some saying they are the idiots for not buying me a new one, and some so obsessed with the price of the coat that they are calling me an idiot for simply owning it and wanting a new one. So am I the idiot? Honestly, not the idiot. Actions have consequences and you are right, a week's grounding isn't enough. She should sell her car and cough up the money. The niece is old enough to know better. Tell your sister either she comes up with the money or you take it to the cops. I wonder if a police report will force the insurance company to come up with the money. This wasn't an accident, it was intentional and she won't do it again. This reminds of the idiots gluing themselves to paintings to fight climate change. Not the idiot, this is criminal damage. She knew the value of the coat, and she used paint which normally can't be removed. Sometimes, people have to face the consequences of their actions. It's not about the coat, it's about personal responsibility, and 16 is way old enough to know better. She did this out of jealousy, and I'm guessing your sister had something to do with that. This girl owes you for the coat she ruined, and she should pay for it. Not the idiot. The title had me leaning towards you be the idiot, but then I changed my mind when reading the rest. Your niece is entitled AF. She looked up how expensive the coat was, showed you how expensive it was, then decided to publicly ruin it for online clout. Absolute trash behavior. If I was her mother, I'd ask you to take her to court because she obviously needs some serious wrist slapping. Respectfully, screw your niece. I have 3 children, 15, 11 and 3. My 35 partner, 28, have been together 10 years. We have 50-50 custody of the 2 eldest. Nearly 4 years ago we had a rough patch and a one-night stand is what led to my youngest being born. We've got full custody, but my wife is all she knows as her mother. All children call my wife their mom. She's a great parent. She got the eldest into gymnastics and swimming. She does their homework with them and they're really close. It's nice to see. It's hard to explain exactly how she's a good parent. She just is. We found out we were expecting 8 months ago, and this caused our youngest to start acting out. Nursery teachers told us it was completely normal for young children to regress when big news happens. 7 months into our pregnancy we lost the baby. It upset me, but it completely devastated my wife. She acts like everything's normal, but she's crying herself to sleep. I don't have the emotional bandwidth anymore. I'm exhausted. We just lost a child, not just her. I'd been trying to get ready for work, while my wife got the youngest ready, and I guess we were having a rough morning because I heard my youngest tell my wife, "You're not my mom. You don't love me." Obviously not exact wordings. It's not the first time she's told my wife this, We don't even know how the youngest knows this. I went to work. When I came back, the eldest told us that my wife dropped the youngest off at nursery and then locked herself in our room, and apparently had been crying for a few hours then left. I messaged her and got told, "Thanks for helping me this morning. I'm staying at my mother's. I'm not in the mood to help with your child at the moment since you don't help me / tell her I'm her mother." Youngest deserves to know her background. We've tried to explain to her stepmother etc., but she's young, she'll understand when she's older. I explained that I had work, she's handled it before, but I've been left on read. I apologized, didn't realize she was so unhappy, but said at the end of the day youngest lost her sibling too and it's been a difficult transition. We're looking into family counseling. I did say I'd appreciate her not having eldest witness her being this upset next time as she's still a child. If I've left any info out I'll answer. Hands are greasy and it's hard to type. It was a casual morning. She usually handles getting them ready and we've had issues like this before that she's handled. Honestly, sometimes hearing things like this has become white noise now because I know my wife can handle it when I've got to work. Edit. The reason I say not to be as upset in front of my eldest is because eldest went to her biological mom and told her she was worried about her mom, my wife, which I don't think is fair. Am I the idiot? Downplaying your cheating, and downplaying your wife's trauma, and blaming her for not being entirely composed after she had a late-term miscarriage? Have you always been so selfish and neglectful? Your wife is so obviously struggling with a serious depressive crisis, and you're just completely neglecting that. I'm wondering at all your other delightful behaviors. You're the idiot. You're the idiot. So your wife had a miscarriage at 7 months and is taking care of a child that's a product of you cheating, tells you that she is upset and will be staying with her month because your child was being a little brat and you do nothing to help her or defend her and will be staying at her mom's. All you had to say was that you're at work and she handled it before? Wow. You don't deserve a wife. You're the idiot. My 3-year-old sometimes says she doesn't love me. It hurts, but I know she doesn't mean it. She'll often run and hug me right after saying it. But your wife is dealing with a massive loss. You have 3 biological children and it sounds like she has none. I'm sorry, but you really can't understand what she's going through, and telling her to just be okay with it and hide her emotions is awful. It's also not healthy for the older children, and doesn't teach them how to work through life's problems. You need some serious therapy.